Hello and welcome back again to the Everyday History Podcast. I'm Dustin Lloyd, and with me as always is Tristan Kirby. I'm not even going to call you Boo Boo today.
Oh, okay. Can you believe it's been a week already?
It's been a week since we talked about, what did we talk about? Air conditioning.
Air conditioning.
A lot has happened since then, like we started recording. So, any guesses to what we might be talking about today?
Not air conditioning.
You always say, oh, I know what it's not, and then you list off every episode we've done. When we get to episode 100, it's going to be ridiculous.
I know. I'm going to have a lot to remember.
So, no guesses?
Well, last week, and I'm throwing up air quotes, we talked about the AC, so today we will be talking about the heater.
That's a great guess, but we're actually talking about the history of the microwave oven.
Oh, shit. Wasn't that created by accident?
We'll get there.
Okay. Hey, spoilers.
I would assume that most people, everybody I've ever mentioned the history of the invention has always come back to, wasn't that an accident? And yeah, but we'll get there.
God damn it.
There's actually some interesting things, huh?
I said, damn it, it's not even a smart question.
No, you're right. Let's just take a minute to appreciate the fabulous snacks that the microwave has helped us produce, or well, not really produce, but make popular.
It's gotten me by most of my life.
I don't even own one anymore.
Oh, wow. Look at you, mister. I cook all my meals. Hell no. You know, listen, I'm a reason with you, and I'm going to be 100% honest. It's not because I don't have the time to cook, nor the capabilities to cook. I just don't want to. I could just throw it in the microwave and hit a fucking button. It'll even beep and let me know when it's done. It's brilliant. Now, once you get over the fact that the food is probably fucking -2 and the plate is 212 degrees Fahrenheit, it's pretty awesome.
The plate is bubbling and the food is ice cold. Well, I don't have one because I did have one, and an ex of mine used it more when she was living with me, and I never really used it that often. And one day, months after we had broken up and she'd moved out, I went to use it, and it started smoking because she never cleaned it. So,
oh, God.
Yeah, it was there was stuff because when I opened it, it looks fine, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a tall fella. We're both kind of tall.
Right.
So I just seeing it on my counter, I couldn't see what the problem was. So I leaned down and looked up, and the roof of said microwave was just caked on with shit, and that was what was smoking. And I was like, this is probably not fixable because it's in pretty bad shape. So I ended up getting rid of it. I haven't had one since, and that's probably been like 6 years. I miss it at times.
Good man. You're probably not, it's probably for the best. You're not eating doses of radiation, a negligible amount.
That's
but
negligible.
I feel like it all adds up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it has really diminished my ability to have some of the foods that I was segueing into before I got distracted by my own brain. Some of these things like Hot Pockets, yummy.
Ooh, love those.
Popcorn, I haven't been able to make popcorn in a while, and I know you can make it on the skillet or you can get a little popcorn maker, but who has the time?
Well, sir, we also live in the year 2025 now. God, we're getting old. So we also have air fryers, and those are just magnificent.
Yes, and I use my air fryer for a lot of things.
Right, it's the new man's microwave.
We also have pizza bagels, cups of noodles, things like that, which we'd obviously have these things without the microwave.
I love pizza bagels.
I do too. I passed on them. I was going to get some the other day, and you know what I got?
Pizza rolls.
Hot Pockets. And Hot Pockets in an air fryer, just saying.
Yeah, so good, so crispy, so warm.
So yes, we would have these things without the microwave, but the ease and convenience has been exasperated by the microwave. So the microwave, who came up with this life-changing invention? Well, we've already kind of alluded to an accident.
Yeah, well, spoilers.
But let's find out what exactly happened, because anyone could say, well, there's what happened, blah, 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 without giving the details of the background.
Yeah, I could say anything was an accident.
I just had an accident. We're going to look at another invention to get to the answer of how did this thing become. So we're going to dive into some stuff that's way beyond our meager pay grades here, so bear with me.
Sweet.
So in 1910, Hans Gerden of the Siemens Corporation.
Oh, come on. How can we not laugh at that one?
Of the Siemens Corporation invented a magnetron. So good for him.
Magnetron, that's a word.
Now you might be asking yourself, what is a magnetron?
How did you know?
Because that's what I was asking myself. Well, we'll get to that later.
No!
So in 1912, Heinrich Geidenacter was looking for a new way to calculate the electron mass. You also might be asking what that is. I don't fucking know, so let's move on.
Okay.
What I do know is these things were somehow very important to the development of radar in WW2.
Oh, it's all flooding back to me now, but I already spoiled enough, so continue on.
So by 1939, there was an engineer working for Raytheon. His name, Raytheon, yeah.
Still around, I think.
Yes, they are. His name was Percy Spencer, and he was the head of the power tube division, and he found a more efficient way for making those magnetrons, which, since I've already, said that, moved on, they are high-powered vacuum tubes. So that's why he was working on them.
Okay.
Yeah. He created a more efficient method, and it was responsible for upping production from 100 magnetrons a day to 2,600 magnetrons a day.
God damn!
So,
that's a huge leap.
Yeah, so this guy knew his magnetrons much more than we know them, obviously.
Right. I mean, magnetrons, it's a fun word to say. That's what.
Yeah, magnetrons. It sounds like a Marvel villain.
Magnetron.
But this, this method and his efficiency and his brain helped his company secure a contract to develop and make radar for the MIT's radiation laboratory.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, good for him, I guess.
Right? Fucking rub it in, why don't you?
Yeah. There was a project that was of such high importance that it was second only to the Manhattan Project.
It was called the Buffalo Project.
I don't think it was actually given a name.
Okay. That's how you know it's important.
Yeah, but as we all know, which we may not, the Manhattan Project was responsible for the development of the nuclear bomb.
Boo!
So those achievements on their own are pretty awesome for anybody.
Yeah, I mean, power of the atom. Harness the power of the atom.
Which he didn't do,
evil.
but he worked with vacuum tubes, not the atoms, actually.
Oh, okay, good.
So yeah, he didn't mess with the atoms, but his project was almost as important in the eyes of the U.S. government. That's pretty cool.
Okay, all right.
But his background is what makes it even more amazing to me.
So now we're going to dive into the personal lore section.
So he was born in 1894, and after his mother abandoned him and his father died when he was a year old, he was an orphan. His aunt and uncle adopted him, and he lived with them on their farm.
Damn. Okay. All
At
right.
the age of 12, he was working at a spool mill.
Oh.
Age of 16, he was part of a team that installed electricity at the local paper mill.
All right.
So another major event in time, the sinking of the Titanic in 1912, further piqued his interest in electricity. And I know what you're thinking. How is that, right? What's the connection?
Yeah, what's the connection? Is this like is this whole half-tail mouse and the Kentucky fires again?
No, but I will tell you this. The interesting connection is, I don't fucking know.
Oh, wonderful. That makes two of us.
I couldn't find where he's like, Titanic sunk. Oh, electricity.
Light bulb.
So he joined the Navy with a desire to learn wireless technology, which was, primitive at the time.
Yeah.
And the Navy sent him to school to learn as such because he was a high school dropout.
Like, you're actually interested in this shit? Okay, weird.
He dropped out of high school. He had to educate himself. He said in interviews that he would study textbooks on the subjects while standing his Navy night watches.
How much you watching when you got your damn nose in that book, boy? You damn kids on your damn books all the time. Anyhow,
despite all those, what people would say are disadvantages, he became an expert in his field.
Cool. I guess if there's no one else in the fucking field, yeah, you would become an expert.
Yeah, the playing field is probably very shallow.
Right. It's like him and one other guy who doesn't speak the same language. So he's like, yeah, I'm the best. I'm the expert.
He can't argue with me.
If he does, I don't understand him.
So the story goes, according to legend, and I couldn't really confirm or debunk it solidly, but evidence leans towards its authenticity.
Okay.
That sounded all official because, as I've mentioned before, I'm reading because I've got the memory of a goldfish. But
well, you said the word authentic, so I'm convinced.
So am I. Anywho, Spencer was standing in front of an active radar set while building those magnetrons, and he noticed that the candy bar he had in his pocket had turned into a melty, gooey mess.
Wow.
I know that's a shock. There's the accident. But this is the thing. It wasn't the first time it ever happened to anyone. It was just, it just happened to be him who was a fucking genius of some sort. But I have a question.
This is the goddamn Ben Franklin shit all over again. Oh, my shirt's wet.
The right fucking genius at the right fucking time.
Right. Someone just had to come along and ponder. Anyhow.
Speaking of pondering, though, that segues me back in. We're good. Okay. How often were people just walking around with candy bars in their pockets back then?
Yeah, and did it take a fucking microwave for you to be like, hey, chocolate melts. I probably shouldn't leave it in my pocket. It looks like I shit myself.
Maybe it's a common thing back then. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
So, once again, like we said last time with Franklin and just a few seconds ago with Franklin, wasn't the first time someone decided to investigate it. So this fucking know-it-all, this fucking nerd, began to experiment.
Yeah.
He used different foods, such as popcorn kernels, which, popcorn, because, you could cook popcorn on a stove. He found that it would pop in the microwave. Oh, what a genius.
Right. Way to figure that. Well, I could have told you that.
Now, speaking of his genius, he also decided to do the same experiment, but with an egg. He placed the egg in a tea kettle and had the magnetron device directly above said kettle.
Okay.
The result was startling. Or at least it was to his poor coworker who glanced inside the kettle to observe the experiment, and the egg exploded right in their face.
Oh.
They had egg on their face, literally.
I think it worked.
So Spence decided to build an enclosed metal box with a high-density electromagnetic field generator attached to it.
Wow. That's the sound of the microwave being generated.
Yes, the magnetron would emit microwaves into the box and allowed for safely controlled experimentation.
Okay.
He then began to start cooking various foods in it. Began ramping up his experiments after creating this box because it was much safer. The wildest one I could find is that he cooked a live salmon on the device's highest settings for 45 minutes.
Oh my God!
Not really. I couldn't find out what he tested after
God
that.
Damn it, Dustin! Fuck! Oh, I am out of it, buddy.
I tried to make that one as bizarre, but also believable as possible.
Well, it was just so disturbing. Well, I mean,
a live salmon on the highest setting.
Right. Why a live salmon? Oh, my God. I was just imagining it fucking flopping and
eyes bulging and exploding.
Meanwhile, he's like, no, let it continue cooking. We got to see what happens.
It's for science, damn it.
It's delicious. I just wanted to cook my meal. A squeeze of lemon wedge.
So, yeah, salmon didn't happen, but I wish it did because I thought that was really funny.
Yeah, I like that more. I'm going to pretend like that. That's my history of the microwave.
Imagine the smell.
It smells like radiation.
So, on October 8th, 1945, Raytheon, company he had been, working for, they filed a patent application for a microwave cooking oven. So any invention created by a Raytheon employee, and probably most places like this, was owned by the company. Because that's what the employees were fucking paid to do. Create and invent.
And not even get to hold any of the fucking glory.
Right.
Except for being read off by two fucking assholes on the internet.
2 years later, the first commercially available microwave oven was produced. It was 6 foot tall. Damn.
Fuck.
And about 750 pounds.
Ooh.
It cost $5,000.
True.
which is equivalent to $68,000 in today's money.
Jesus, man.
Thankfully, thank God, 20 years later, somebody came up with a more affordable version.
Right there. Yeah, no shit. Now I could go buy one for like $30.
Yeah, but then it was $495 or the equivalent of $4,500 today.
I guess shit was also kind of built to last, maybe.
Yeah, I think there's something to be said for they don't make it like they used to.
Yeah, it's not just something boomers throw at you to
insult. No, there's some truth in it.
Right.
And the cool thing about this newer invention is also countertop sized. So it wouldn't take up half your kitchen anymore, and it didn't weigh 750 pounds.
Okay. Gone are the days of having to choose between a refrigerator or a stand-up microwave cooking apparatus.
And in case you're wondering, Spencer received no royalties for the invention.
Yeah, why would he? Not your job to get royalties, boy.
Yeah, I don't get royalties for every piece of food I make.
Yeah, I mean, shit.
He was, however, though, given a very handsome sum in the form of a one-time $2 gratuity from Raytheon.
$2 whole? $2
whole for literally changing how we eat leftovers and snacks.
Right, it also becomes a nice cupboard to store my meal for 3 days until I go to microwave something and forgot I left it in there.
Here's the interesting thing. Microwaves, like the air conditioning, have not really changed since that point. Once it became countertop, worthy, it began to get smaller and more condensed and digital and all that. But really,
microwave.
Yeah, but really it hasn't changed that much. So that's all I have for this episode.
Wow. Okay. The last one was a little lengthy. This one is short and sweet.
Little less girthy this time.
Yeah, I can fit. I mean, wait, no, cut. No,
it doesn't slide off like the other episode. So, since it was a short episode, though, I did gather a couple little things. If you wanted to hear some,
of course.
Why don't we take a quick look at the history of some microwavable classics?
Journey back in time with us as we explore.
All right, I'm gonna say the name of an item, and you can tell me what your opinion on it is, and then I'll get into a little bit of the history.
Okay.
Microwavable dinners, TV dinners.
Grew up eating them.
Same here.
Kind of indifferent to them. I'd still definitely eat them like a Hungry Man. Oh, dude. Yeah, I'd tear up a Hungry Man right now.
They were a staple of my childhood as well.
Yeah, I remember feeling like a grown up because I know you're a little bit older than I am, but we're close enough in age to where I feel like we have some overlapping memories. And maybe you were a big boy by this time, and I was just a little shit my pants McGee. But
I was always a big boy.
I was always shit my pants McGee. I never outgrew that title. But kids' cuisine with the little penguins on it.
Yeah,
those things suck.
Yeah,
Hungry Man's, dude. I felt like a fucking man, and I didn't know what that meant. That's a very loaded word, turns out. I was not a man, but I was hungry like one apparently because I ate that motherfucker.
That's funny because I do also have the memory of graduating from kid cuisine to Hungry Man.
Right. You're not a boy anymore. I remember it clear as day. I slapped on the shoulder, cusped with a slight firm grip, letting me know it was a tender yet serious moment. This was something I would always remember. You're not a little kid anymore. You don't get brownies. You get 2 pounds of Salisbury steak, a metric fuck ton of mashed taters, and a little tiny bit of mac and cheese.
Now, let's not get too old too fast, because I enjoyed the kid cuisines as a kid. Just something about putting that nice little meal of nuggies and corn and mashed taters, and if you're lucky, a brownie that stays where it should instead of exploding into the corn and mashed potatoes.
I was going to say, dude, that shit would turn into like lava.
Yeah, and it would just melt into everything else.
And the corn would stay frozen.
My favorite, like, I'll still have one every now and then because I can find some that are oven safe.
Mm-hmm.
The Boston Market frozen dinners are amazing.
Yeah, I can't.
For a frozen dinner.
Is it Banquet that's like the cheap one?
Yeah, Banquet's the cheap one.
Okay, I feel like
they're not bad.
No, they're not. They're not bad.
I get those sometimes too if I find a way to cook it.
Right.
I don't think those are microwave safe. I have to recheck because I've been wanting some of those. Anyway.
So my opinion on them is they fuck hard.
Yeah.
I'm not going to call you a chef if you microwave shit, but hey, I'll eat it.
Yeah. The first frozen dinner to achieve any success was the brand Swanson.
Oh, I've heard of them. Honorable mention from the Die Hard movies.
Still, yeah, that's right. They're still thriving today.
Brilliant.
Their first meal was a Thanksgiving dinner. So it had turkey, cornbread stuffing, frozen peas, and sweet potatoes.
Oh, man, I'd eat that. That's got my tummy rumbling.
Each item had its own compartment. Okay.
I like organization.
That was released in 1953.
Oh, wow.
So, shockingly, what we now know as a microwave dinner was not meant for the microwave because they were not widespread.
And they were called microwave suppers, if anything.
So they called them TV dinners, and they were actually in aluminum packaging.
Oh. Uh-oh. Yeah. Aluminum packaging.
Yeah. Here's what I found shocking, though. The first microwave-safe trays for TV dinners weren't marketed until 1986.
Really? Is that when the shift went from, like, the dinner table to, like, eating in the living room and shit?
You know, I don't know. I might have to look into that. That might be a TV thing. When TV became more popular, I think it became more common to eat out in the living room.
Okay.
Because TV trays predate 1886. Like, I think the TV dinner had a big thing to do with it, like the early versions.
Gotcha.
But we can look into that one day.
Yeah. Future subject. Maybe.
So some other milestones for Swanson. They added the desserts to the meals in 1960. They had a breakfast. Those. Yeah, they had a breakfast line start in 1969. Nice.
Nice.
And the first Hungry Man dinner, 1973.
Damn.
Now, I went into it, you know me, I went down a rabbit hole.
Of course.
So, their first spokesman was an NFL player by the name of Mean Joe Green.
Oh, hey, kid.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. He's famous for the, was it the Coke commercial? I want to say it was Coke.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's right.
Yeah, that's the guy. So in the ads I've watched for Swanson, and even in that one, he's intimidating big dude, right?
Thanks, Mean Joe.
But once he had his Coke, he was fine. And in the Swanson commercials, he seems like a really nice guy.
Right? He's like, hey, I'm Mean Joe Green, but at the dinner table, I'm hungry, just like you.
So I started looking into his playing career.
And?
He was a beast.
Oh.
Like, a lot of people talk about him being possibly the absolute best defensive player of the 70s.
Really?
He took the Pittsburgh Steelers that had only won a single game and took them to become a 4-time Super Bowl winning dynasty in, like, over the course of 6 years.
Damn.
Yeah. And 2 quick stories about him, and then we'll move on because it's not a football episode, but these were too good not to share. So there was an instance where the Houston Oilers were lined up for the final play of the game, right? Mm-hmm. Against Mean Joe Green's team. And the Oilers were already up by 3, so they were going to win. They didn't really need another point, but they were in a pattern that suggested they were going to try to tack on a touchdown anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And Mean Joe Green angrily pointed at the quarterback and yelled, "If you come into the end zone, I'll beat the shit out of you. I'm going to kill you."
Oh, my God.
So the quarterback took a knee and let the clock run out. Joe after walked up to the quarterback and said, "I knew you weren't going to do it."
Damn.
He also had a reputation for losing his temper. He once punched a player, spit on another one, but my personal favorite is how he once kicked a lineman in the balls repeatedly while the guy was laying on the ground.
Oh, my God.
So that's the spokesman of Hungry Man from 1973, and I love it.
Well, when you're fucking kicking dudes in the sack, I mean, when people piss you off, it works up quite the appetite.
So if any of you listeners haven't looked into Mean Joe Green, definitely do it because he's an interesting person. He's still alive. He continues to live a great life, but he was possibly one of the best players of all time. He's in the running for especially defensive. Don't know if there's any documentaries about him, but I should check it out because I got really into that rabbit hole. I lost a lot of time looking into his career.
He's docile Jones Green these days.
So next food item. Ready for this one?
I'm ready.
Instant ramen.
Mmm. Styrofoam goodness.
Who doesn't enjoy a sodium bomb of noodly goodness? I love it with even more sodium because I love hot sauce in my ramen. I can't eat ramen without hot sauce. I love it.
Quick question before we continue. Do you drain the broth or do you leave the broth in?
It depends on my mood.
Yeah, I'm with you. Sometimes if I want more of a soup, I'll leave the broth in. Other times I'm like, nah, I just need the flavoring on these noodles.
If it's winter, I'll definitely go with the broth. Because it is a soup, and it is soup weather.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I take it you're a fan of the instant ramen. I get it every now and then, not all the time.
I don't eat it very often. In fact, I ate some. I love that, but my favorite is probably like the beef. If we're going on like the Maruchan or fucking top ramen or something like that, beef all day. Chicken is a second.
Chicken's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Sometimes I'll throw some like steak seasoning or something in mine because like the I don't know, more sodium.
Yeah, that sounds awesome though.
Yeah.
The history of pasta though, because I tried to go into the ramen history. Ramen and pasta in general is insane. Like there's even evidence that instant noodles were around in some form centuries ago.
What?
So let's just go with the modern ramen, like as they are today.
Right.
They were created by Momofuku Ando in Japan.
Oh, actually, nice job saying that name.
I did my best.
That's good. That's good.
He introduced the first instant ramen noodles on August 25th, 1958.
Damn.
Yeah, older than I thought, I'll be honest.
Right. I think of that as like I don't know, maybe like 60s, 70s, when they're like trying shit like fucking gelatin Thanksgiving and, just like in the age of experimenting with foods.
I would have thought them to be like an early 80s type of thing, but I don't know. It's interesting. But have you ever wondered why the noodles are so wavy?
Yeah, I have.
It allows for more nudes to fit in a small package.
Ah.
They are less likely to stick together during cooking.
Don't think I didn't hear you call them nudes.
I know. They cook more evenly this way, and they're less fragile, and drying and shaping them is easier. The elasticity is improved, and they are less likely to slip off of chopsticks or forks when eaten.
Ah, okay.
So they're that way for a lot of reasons. Very efficient. I like that.
Yeah, you never would have thought that. You'd just be like, I don't know. That's just how they package it.
Yeah, and here's what blew my mind. They were originally pricey and considered a luxury food.
Really?
Yeah, but they became insanely popular, and prices went way down over time as mass production became easier, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
But they didn't make their way to America until 1973, so you were right, 70s.
Yay!
And one of the interesting things was they had to redesign packaging for Americans because Americans didn't seem to like the bowls that they were in, so they switched to the foam cup.
Yeah, I always get so uncomfortable if I ever have those. Like, I just almost would rather not microwave them. I don't think you're supposed to microwave those.
The cups, no, you're not supposed to. But we all do it.
Fuck up, yeah.
I did it every time I'd get a cup of noodles when I had a microwave. So, on to the next item.
Okay.
Hot Pockets.
Yum. Love them.
Love them. One of my favorites.
Ham and cheese all day. Oh, wait. Before we, one more question for the ramen.
Yes.
Do you crush your noodles or do you leave them whole?
I leave them whole.
Me too. Sometimes if it's in a bowl, I'll split them. Anyway, all right, moving on to Hot Pockets. I had to know.
So Hot Pockets. Definitely one of my favorite. I heard you say ham and cheese.
I love them.
I am a pepperoni guy.
Yeah.
I love the pepperoni. I actually, the other day, tried the meatball for the first time. Meatball Hot Pocket.
Have you tried the Philly cheesesteak one?
Yes, that one's not bad, surprisingly. I thought that would be atrocious. It's really good. Hot Pocket has never failed me. I'm gonna be honest.
I was about to say I've never tried a Hot Pocket I didn't like.
I'm not a big fan of the breakfast ones, but they're not bad either.
Oh yeah, I guess those are ones I haven't tried, but I love breakfast stuff. So I mean, yeah.
They were invented in 1983.
Okay.
And they were
starting to sound good.
Yeah, and they were specifically designed to be cooked in the microwave.
Oh wow! So now we're entering. Well, I guess we could have already entered this age, but now we're getting to the point where we are specifically marketing foods to be cooked in the microwave.
Yeah. Here's what I didn't know. There's over 50 varieties of traditional Hot Pockets.
What?
Yeah, but we're not going to get into all that. I'm not going to list off every one.
Right. I always thought there was like, I don't know, 10.
Yeah, there's a lot more. That's literally all I could really find about their history. There's a quick search. I could go into more detail because I did watch a documentary that involved the history of the Hot Pocket. It's The Foods That Built America. If anyone ever wants to check that out, it's a great show. It's on history. Yeah. But they did break it down. I do remember most of that story, but it would take too long to get into the intricacies, and they did a much better job anyway. It would be a whole episode if we did it that way.
They get paid for their research.
Yes. But I did something I've never done before in this podcast.
What's that?
I reached out to the Hot Pockets company through their website.
Oh, whoa. Really?
And I sent them a message asking for more details and, if possible, a list of all the Hot Pocket varieties ever made. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Their website isn't working properly. It wouldn't let me send the message, so who knows what the fuck.
Ah.
So if you're listening, Hot Pockets IT people, fix your shit and send me some swag.
You need to know. Yeah. I mean, you got to pay for damages at this point.
I will settle for a hat. I want a Hot Pockets hat.
I don't get out of bed for less than $50 million cash.
And yet here you are for free.
Yeah, right.
So let's move on to the next one. And it's our final one, just so you know.
Okay. All right.
The frozen burrito.
Oh.
Wanted to include these because they are a staple of microwave food. I love them with some sour cream and hot sauce, again with the hot sauce.
No doubt, man. That's one you can doctor up so many different ways, and it's just like,
I won't go much into their history because just a brief little reading. We're going to do an episode on the history of America and Mexican food in general.
Okay.
Because there is some interesting things. But I will say this. The very first thing I found out about the frozen burrito was it was invented by a guy named Dwayne R. Roberts in 1956.
Damn.
His original claim to fame, like what he did before this, was he convinced McDonald's to buy his frozen hamburger patties.
Oh, shit.
He's one of the people responsible for frozen patties in fast food, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. There's nothing wrong with frozen patties.
No,
I don't care what people say.
Folks that are not in the restaurant, let me just clue you in a little bit. There's a lot more frozen shit than you think, and you wouldn't know. I mean, because it's not bad. It is,
Yeah, there really is. And there's nothing, I don't find it, like quality frozen burgers are great, but neither here nor there. But so, yeah, he was the one who basically helped start that trend. It was more efficient, cheaper, faster. And he's a man that doesn't even have his own Wikipedia page, as far as I could find.
What?
But he left a massive impact on food service and college dorm room food.
He's like our friend Mr. Gory, who just died in the ethers of obscurity while two dum-dums on the internet just talk about him.
Yeah. Wait a minute, that's us, isn't
it? Which one? The one who's dead?
The dummies on the internet. That's us.
Who's the dummy?
Well, thanks for joining us this week, guys. We'll see you next week on the Everyday History Podcast. See you next Tuesday.
Woo!
You know what I just realized?
What's that?
I forgot to introduce us in the last one. It's all right, though.
Yeah, it's all right. They know who we are by now.